Welcome to the Turkish Airlines series podcast. I'm BJ Cunningham, I'm your host, and today we're going behind the scenes of Turkish Cargo to explore the hidden world that keeps global commerce moving. Every day, millions of products, essential supplies, and life-changing shipments move around the world in ways most of us never see or even think about. Today's guest is part of the team that orchestrates this invisible ballet of global logistics from one of the world's most strategic locations. So before we dive in, Yücel, introduce yourself.
Thank you, BJ, for having me today. This is Yücel Çınar. I'm Cargo Digitalization and Continuous Improvement Manager, and I have been working 13 years for Turkish Cargo. I'm very excited to being here with you today.
It's a pleasure. It's great to have you. I'm excited because I know very little about this world of logistics. But tell me, when you were young and how did you ever dream or what made you think about logistics?
I want to answer this question with not a joke, but a true story. I remember very clearly 13 years ago when I first started working in Turkish Cargo, having my tea and sandwich and watching the aircrafts being loaded and taking off at sunrise in the apron side. Let's to be honest, no kid says I want to work in logistics when they are little, but when there are aircrafts involved and you are also part of a system that silently connects the continents and carries someone's dreams to the other side of the world, it becomes exciting to be a part of it. The complexity, the scale, the roar of massive freighters taking off loaded with the goods is impressive. It draws you in. Behind the scenes, it's pure logistic, but to me, it feels like the motion with purpose.
That's beautifully put. Tell me this, when was the first time someone really explained to you the nature of global trade and how it actually works, how a product gets from one side of the world to the other? When was that first explained?
When I discovered that a single product can pass through the three continents, five countries, and a dozen procedures before reaching the customer, I was blown away. That's when I realized the logistic isn't just transportation, it's coordination, technology, and the human brilliance working in harmony.
So tell me, there's a moment when you realize you're not just moving boxes, you're connecting families, saving lives, enabling dreams. When did that hit you? Was it a specific shipment or a situation that changed how you see your role?
There is no doubt, BJ, it's really hit me during the pandemic first, when the air cargo became one of the few functioning lifelines in the world. We were converting the passenger aircraft to a freighters, we call it as a freighter, coordinating non-stop to move the medical equipment to the world, processing our rescue operations that enable people to return home as countries close their borders. This was the underlining moments in my mind when I check my history in Turkish Cargo.
Fantastic. Well, that's fantastic. Air cargo exists because speed matters. It's all about speed. It's about fast, fast, fast.
Yeah.
When every hour counts and failure just simply isn't an option, what's the tightest deadline you've ever faced? And what does that pressure feel like when the world is watching the clock?
Yeah, I had unfortunate moment for this question.
Right.
While I was thinking the answer, I remembered the Turkey's earthquake in 2023. The pressure was unlike anything else. The weight of every hour was real because there was no room for delay. The
Wow.
medical cargo, the search and the rescue equipment, even mobile hospital had to move fast. We weren't moving shipments, we were moving urgency. The entire system from network to planning to ramp teams work in unison. In the moments like that, you feel the weight of the every second, but you also feel the power of what coordinated logistics can achieve when time is the most precious resource.
Fantastic. Tell me, backup systems, technology, AI, and automation, these are transforming logistics,
Yeah.
especially for situations like this. but cargo still requires human judgment for these complex problems. Where do you see that line between what AI can do brilliantly and what still needs the human touch? Are there any moments when you've had to override this technology?
AI is a tool that will shape the future as we invest in addressing the repetitive tasks and using our most valuable resource, our people, for more valuable inputs and outputs. It's a great at making data-driven decisions such as route optimization, anomaly detection, customer service back office processes, automated ULD plannings, and there are more, and we are working on this. But air cargo logistics also has its extremes, irregular cases, last minute emergencies, or customer needs that require empathy and flexibility. In these moments, human intuition and operational experience make the difference. As a company that has invested heavily in AI, we do not see it as a 100% backup, at least for now. It's a copilot that helps us work smarter between our organization.
So tell me something, what's something about cargo operations that would surprise people who've never seen it? Something they assume works one way, but it actually works completely differently, for example.
If I want to give a basic example to this, when we say we are in the air cargo industry, most people think that aircrafts only carry luggages. However, under the compartment they are sitting in, there may be a live animal, a car, a perishable goods, or a child's favorite teddy bear. Every piece of cargo carries a history and story.
So you mean on normal passenger flights, there would also be air cargo in the hold?
Yeah,
They're not separate aircraft. It's all traveling on the same network.
actually, no. We have currently 24 freighters which uh, only carrying the cargoes, and we have more than 500 passenger aircraft where we are also using the cargo shipments in addition to the people.
That's fantastic. I never realized. So sitting under my seat when I'm flying on Turkish Airlines, there could be a TOG, there could be an electric vehicle. I love that. Okay. So Turkish Airlines, Turkish Cargo doesn't just move things through space. I mean, you're racing time zones. You're moving Christmas presents backwards through time to make magic happen. What's it like being part of that invisible time machine?
It's surreal sometimes. You are loading urgent shipments at 3 a.m. in Istanbul and knowing they'll be unwrapped in New York at the same day. The time zone coordination is a daily challenge. Holiday, regulatory cutoffs, last mile delivery constraints all have to be factored in. But when it works, it feels like a magic. You are literally delivering tomorrow's promises from today.
Tell me about a time when everything that could go wrong did go wrong with a shipment, and how did the team pull this together?
We have all seen those everything goes wrong moments in air cargo, whether delays, ground handling hiccups, routing constraints. When those happen, success comes down to one thing: cross functional teamwork, of course. If cargo needs to be moved despite multiple disruptions, our operations, planning, and customer teams really fast. They are rerouting the flights, finding alternative capacity, and keeping the customer informed every step of the way. Even the captain get involved when they need it. We don't always control the disruptions, but we always control how we respond, and we have really big know-how, and that makes all the difference.
So, Yujo, tell me for you personally, what's the most rewarding type of cargo to handle? Is it medical supplies, emergency relief, someone's personal belongings? What's the most rewarding?
Of course, rescue cases, I can say. We recently carried the koala, which named Yani. Moving small life requires deep coordination and compensation. In this type of transportation, the feeling of transporting animals to their natural habitat provides a real sense of duty and peace of mind. To be honest, in our warehouse, sometimes we are carrying
Sure.
different type of animals. For example, in my life, I firstly seeing a baby lion in our warehouse.
A baby lion, like a tiny little lion cub.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now take me inside Smartist, 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 for a moment. Paint me a picture of what the world in motion actually looks like on a typical day.
Of course, a day in motion at Smartist feels like standing inside a living, breathing network of the logistic excellence. From the first hour of the day, the multiple departments move in the synchronized rhythm. You hear the hum of automated systems, forklift grindings, radios buzzing with the coordination calls, etc. But the workflows run through our work order system and screen track ULD movements and capacity metrics in the real time. The whole facility runs like a coordinated engine where every second counts and everyone knows exactly what they are contributing to the bigger picture.
We talked about Smartist. What is Smartist? Is it a technology? Is it what exactly is it? Because when I hear Smartist, it sounds very clever, smart. But but what is it? Is it technology? Is it explain?
It's a kind of warehouse which where there are automated storage systems, where there are integrated systems working like a robot, and you can imagine that this is the biggest in Europe and the third biggest in the world warehouse.
Okay, so it literally is the beating heart of Turkish Cargo. I mean, it's literally where everything moves around and gets moved down the different channels.
Mhm.
What innovation there within Smartest are you most excited about that people just simply don't know about yet?
Let me explain it. What excites us most is how Smartist operates as one connected ecosystem. Our automated storage systems are tightly integrated with the work order platform, allowing cargo to move with real-time precision. We are now piloting AI-powered planning tools and anomaly detection models to anticipate issues before they happen. Augmented reality based dimensioning tools are also being tested, and in the near future, autonomous mobile robots will be directly linked to the work order system, enabling autonomous cargo handling with minimal human input. These aren't just innovations in isolation, they are building blocks of a smarter, self orchestrated cargo operations. The things
Uh,
that already mentioned from my side is being happened in our Smartist.
okay, now I understand why it's called Smartest as well. It sounds
Yeah.
incredibly smart. Now, in cargo, you handle millions of dollars of goods from people you've never met who trust you completely with their livelihood, with their business. What does it feel like to carry that invisible weight of trust from strangers around the world? And how do you explain this to your family?
It's a silent responsibility. Most people outside the industry don't realize how much is riding on a shipment arriving on time, someone's medication, a factory supply chain, a bride's wedding dress. When I want to explain it, we say we don't just move cargo, we deliver someone's hope, someone's deadline, someone's future. And that makes the job incredibly meaningful.
So every operation in every business has its own rhythm and its own
Yeah.
language. What terms or processes at Turkish Cargo would sound completely foreign or weird to an outsider?
Of course,
It's fine.
as every other business, air cargo
What's
has
happening?
its own
Good.
dialects.
Because
Acronyms
he
like ULD,
superior would.
AWB,
Yeah.
FWB fly
Yeah.
around faster than the planes and
Which
aircrafts themselves. But at Turkish Cargo, there is also something uniquely ours. The way we say hallederiz in Turkish. It means we will figure it out, and it captures our mindset perfectly. Whether it's a missing manifest or a last minute reroute, there is always a calm confidence that comes from our culture and teamwork. We mix precision with a kind of warm flexibility that's very Turkish. You won't find that in a manual, but it's what makes us who we are.
Tell me the word again. Hallederiz.
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 Hallederiz,
I
yes.
have to learn this word
Yeah.
now, and my wife is Turkish, so I have to learn this word. I think it will help me. Hallederiz. Okay.
But it will be a different history if you say this word to your wife, because
Because
hallederiz
you want
means
something
in,
different.
in the real life is a bit different thing. Not bad
Okay.
thing, but
I'll be careful
uh,
then.
please
I will
try.
blame you. I will blame you. I will say my friend
Of
at
course.
Turkish Cargo told me it was okay to say this. Now, air freight is often called the insurance policy of global business. When everything else fails, air cargo is the emergency lifeline that keeps the world running. So, how does it feel to be part of that rescue system? I mean, you are
Yeah.
literally the safety net under global commerce. And what's a time when Turkish Cargo literally saved the day for somebody?
Actually, I call the air cargo industry the break in case of emergency button. Being part of air cargo means carrying more than goods. It means carrying responsibilities. As I mentioned, during the pandemic, when most borders were closed, in addition to our freighters, where we configured the passenger aircraft to transport the critical medical supplies across the continents. And in the week of Turkey's recent earthquake, unfortunate, our our teams voluntarily mobilized, dedicating aircrafts, facilities, and staff to support emergency logistics. As the national flag carrier, it wasn't a decision. It was a duty for sure. Moments like these reminds us invisible but the vital role logistics plays when the world needs it most.
So, Turkey has this incredible history and legacy of being the world's logistics center. You've got the Silk Road, the crossroads between continents, the place where East meets West. When you're coordinating shipments across those same routes today, does that historical legacy ever cross your mind? Is there a sense of pride in continuing those traditions?
Absolutely. Istanbul's strategic location at the crossroad of Europa, Asia, and the Middle East is a natural advantage. And Turkish Cargo builds on that. Operating our the 340 destinations means we essentially turn Istanbul into a launchpad for global trade. This geographic advantage, positioned with a 7-hour flight distance of 40% of world's passenger and cargo traffic and over 60 capitals, is amplified through our digital network design and smart routing capabilities, which allows us to efficiently link Asia, Europa, Africa, and the Middle East through a single and centralized hub with, of course, short connection times. Istanbul has always been a trade crossroads from the Silk Road to modern global lines. When we map roads between Asia and Europa or Africa and the Middle East, we are literally walking in the footsteps of ancient merchants. There is a quiet pride in that. And we carry it forward not just with air, but with purpose, efficiency, openness, and connection.
It's a big responsibility. And also, you're right, it's a fantastic legacy to carry on down that road. Now, when the world stops, so we've talked about it pandemics, natural disasters, conflicts, Turkish Cargo keeps moving. What's it like being part of that lifeline that never stops when everything else has?
It's humbling. During the pandemic, we didn't just operate, we mobilized, BJ. Passenger aircraft become freighters, people worked 7/24, priorities shifted from commercial to humanitarian. You realize that in the moments of a global pause, you are one of the few still in the motion. That sense of duty stays with you, and It redefines what essentially really means.
How, Yücel, do you balance speed, reliability, and cost when every customer thinks their shipment is the most important shipment of all?
Well, they are not wrong. We balance all the criterias through smart planning, automation, and of
Hmm.
course, operational discipline. But we also stay flexible, rerouting when needed, prioritizing the perishable goods, or adding capacity in urgent cases. To maintain reliability, we are also investing in AI driven tools to better understand and respond to customer needs, from real time feedback analytics to productive support via our chatbots. And that's why we are not just reacting fast, we are staying one step ahead.
This sort of reaches into brand Turkey. Turkish Cargo has a reputation for handling complex logistics that other carriers simply can't. And Turkish Airlines, their brand, is incredibly powerful, known for hospitality, warmth, premium excellence, this incredible sense of welcome. How do you manage to keep that brand alive in the cargo operations whilst also solving these complex logistics challenges? What gives you that edge?
It starts with mindset, BJ. Turkish Airlines is known for warmth, care, and reliability, and we carry those same values into cargo. Even when managing highly complex operation, from temperature-sensitive pharma to live animals, we aim to reflect the same level of precision and hospitality to the shipments. What sets up apart is how we blend operation excellence with empathy. Whether it's a critical medical shipment or humanitarian mission, our teams approach it with the same care a passenger might expect on board. That's the Turkish brand, the technical strength delivered with heart.
I love that. And that's absolutely true. I mean, looking forward then to 2030, what changes in global trade are you most excited about? And how is Turkish Cargo preparing for that future?
The shift towards sustainability, automation, and intelligent logistics is accelerating. We are excited about what AI and the robotics will unlock, from real time planning to fully autonomous cargo handling. We are already testing technologies like route optimization, digital measuring, anomaly detection, and mobile robots to build that future today. We are also watching the trade flows evolve. New business model and the corridors are emerging: Africa, Central Asia, and beyond. Our network and infrastructure are designed to scale with those chains, and our digitalization efforts ensure we can adapt fast.
Okay, Yücel, if somebody wants to understand why Turkish Cargo matters to the global economy, what's the one thing that you would want them to know?
Although air cargo represents only about 1% of total volume of the goods moved in the global logistic industry, it accounts for nearly 35% of the total value of those goods. This clearly shows how valuable and critical our work is. As of today, Turkish Cargo carries approximately 6% of this global air cargo market, which means almost one cargo out of 20. Of course, this positioning us the third largest air cargo carrier in the world. That is why we say we don't just deliver products, we connect continents, support trade, and help ensure the global access to the essential goods.
Yücel, there might be somebody out there now listening to this podcast who's thinking, oh, well, I would love to be involved in global logistics. Turkish Cargo is an incredible sounding organization. What would be your advice to them to get involved in this industry?
From my perspective, I'm the engineer. From my perspective, when I first entered to this industry, there was a area need to improve, which means the air cargo industry was a heaven for the young engineers. Even we stepped and we improved so many things, but there are still something to increase digital maturity level in our industry. That is why I can suggest people, especially for the engineers, to involve this process and put their effort and get the uh, expected results.
Excellent. And if somebody from 100 years ago, when goods were moved by ship and train, could see Turkish cargo today, what would blow their mind most? And what do you think would blow your mind most in 100 years' time?
Someone from 100 years ago would be amazed by the speed, the scale, and the fact that you can track a shipment in a real time across the globe, moving fresh produce across continents in hours, building autonomous storage system 21 meters high. 100 years from now, I think we will see a world where cargo moves through fully automated smart corridors powered by AI, drone networks, and sustainable energy. And maybe, just maybe, we don't even need to touch a shipment to move it. That thought alone is enough to blow my mind.
Yücel, that's beautiful. Thank you. Well, listening to Yücel today reminds me that behind every product we buy, every essential supply that reaches where it's needed on time, there are logistics professionals orchestrating this complex global dance. Turkish Cargo isn't just moving goods, they're enabling the connections that make our interconnected world possible. So thank you for joining us, Yücel, and thank you everybody for joining us, all of our listeners. If today's story sparked something in you, remember that Turkish Airlines flies to more destinations than any other airline, and your next transformative journey could be closer than you think. So until next time, keep exploring, keep connecting, and always widen your world. Safe travels, my friends.
Thank you, Vijay.